Freemasonry is perhaps the most misunderstood and mythologized fraternal organization in the world. Often cloaked in secrecy and wrapped in mystery, its real essence lies somewhere between historical tradition, philosophical symbolism, and human fellowship. To understand what Freemasonry truly is, one must journey through the layers of its history, structure, beliefs, and cultural impact, casting aside conspiracy theories and looking at the facts with intellectual curiosity and balance. Freemasonry began as a guild system among stone masons in medieval Europe. These original masons were skilled craftsmen who constructed cathedrals, castles, and other monumental buildings. Because their trade required years of apprenticeship and rare technical knowledge, they formed lodges, physical and organizational structures, to regulate training, standards, and ethics. These lodges were initially exclusive to actual working masons, but by the late 1500s and early 1600s, they began admitting non-operative or speculative masons, men who were not builders by trade but who were interested in the philosophical ideals associated with the craft. This transition marks the birth of modern Freemasonry. By the early 18th century, especially after the formation of the Grand Lodge of England in 1717, Freemasonry had become a fully speculative society, emphasizing personal moral development, mutual support, and the pursuit of knowledge. The organization spread rapidly throughout Europe and the American colonies, attracting philosophers, scientists, nobles, and even revolutionaries. Men such as Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Voltaire, and Mozart were all Freemasons, which only added to the fraternity's aura of influence and intellectual prestige. Freemasonry is not a religion, though it is deeply spiritual in nature. Members are required to believe in a higher power, often referred to as the Grand Architect of the Universe, but Freemasonry itself does not promote a specific theology. This openness has allowed men of many religions, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, and others, to join and engage in moral reflection and fellowship. However, its use of symbolic rituals, its oaths of secrecy, and its private gatherings have long stirred suspicion among outsiders, especially religious authorities and political regimes. At the heart of Freemasonry lies the use of allegory and symbolism, most famously the square and compass, the level, the plumb line, and the all-seeing eye. These symbols, drawn from the tools of operative masons, are employed to teach ethical lessons. The square teaches fairness and virtue, the compass reminds a man to keep his passions within bounds, and the level emphasizes equality. Masonic ritual uses these tools in dramatic ceremonies that mark a member's progression through various degrees, such as entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. These degrees are not academic or professional ranks, but rather stages of symbolic instruction intended to foster self-examination and moral refinement. Freemasonry is structured around local units called lodges, each of which operates under the jurisdiction of a Grand Lodge. Each Grand Lodge governs its territory independently and sets its own rules, but regular Freemasonry universally adheres to certain key principles: belief in a supreme being, the use of a sacred text during rituals, and the prohibition of political and religious discussion within lodge meetings. This last rule aims to preserve harmony among members of diverse backgrounds and to focus the organization on ethical and charitable work. One of the least known aspects of Freemasonry, often overshadowed by tales of secret power, is its commitment to charity and community service. Masons have historically built hospitals, funded scholarships, and supported orphanages. In the United States, Masonic charities provide millions of dollars in aid every year, often anonymously. The Shriners, a Masonic-affiliated group, are known for their network of children's hospitals, which treat patients regardless of the family's ability to pay, despite its stated principles of tolerance, equality, and moral development. Freemasonry has faced criticism and suspicion throughout history. The Catholic Church, for example, has consistently opposed Freemasonry since the 18th century, citing concerns over its secretive nature and perceived relativism. Totalitarian regimes, including Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, have persecuted Masons, fearing that their independent networks could challenge authoritarian control. Even in democratic societies, conspiracy theories about Masonic influence in politics and finance have persisted, fueled by the group's low public profile and rituals that, to the outsider, may seem arcane or cultic, but for the overwhelming majority of Freemasons, the organization offers a way to build personal character, support charitable causes, and enjoy fellowship with men from many walks of life. It is not a shadowy cabal but a society of mutual encouragement and ethical reflection. Its rituals are not sinister codes but symbolic dramas aimed at awakening moral awareness. While the secrecy surrounding certain aspects of its meetings may invite suspicion, that secrecy is more about tradition and solemnity than it is about power or control. In the modern world, Freemasonry faces both challenges and renewal. Membership has declined in some Western countries, particularly since the mid-20th century, as traditional fraternal organizations struggle to attract younger generations. Yet there is also a revival of interest in meaningful community, ritual, and ethical discourse, areas where Freemasonry continues to offer a unique blend of tradition and relevance. As long as it remains rooted in its core principles of brotherhood, self-improvement, and service, Freemasonry will endure, not as a puppet master of history, but as a quiet companion to those who seek to build themselves as carefully and solidly as the medieval cathedrals its founders once raised stone by stone.